you're actually going to switch parties? Because I know Trump has offered you. I mean, you've said I would be a shitty Republican.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's, you know, and you know, if I ever decide to change,
Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't.
Bill Maher has John Fetterman on, and John Fetterman is just about ready to leave the Democrat Party and be a Republican. It's actually discussed on the show in this video. Hakeem Jeffries makes himself look Somalian. I don't even know how to describe it. You're going to have to see how this plays out. There's a lot of stuff in this video. Some good laughs, some good what the heck moments. It's funny. Stick around for the full thing. And it is sponsored by Private Internet Access, the best way to protect yourself online, but more on that later. Starting things off with the fact that Putin says the special military operation in Ukraine is coming to an end. And that is because President Trump is pleased to announce that there will be a 3-day ceasefire, May 9, 10, and 11, in the war between Russia and Ukraine. The celebration in Russia is for Victory Day, but likewise in Ukraine because they were also a big part and factor of World War II. This ceasefire will include a suspension of all kinetic activity and also a prison swap of 1,000 prisoners from each country. This request was made directly by me, and I very much appreciate its agreement by President Putin and President Zelensky. Hopefully, it is the beginning of the end of a very long, deadly, and hard-fought war. Talks are continuing on ending this major conflict, the biggest war since World War II, and we are getting closer and closer every day. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Man, President Trump is just doing some awesome stuff. But who's not doing awesome stuff is Iran, because Iran now says it will impose fees on the world's internet cables under the Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point carrying roughly 20% of the global data and financial traffic. I'm assuming this will probably come in a form of a subscription, since everything these days is subscription model based, like literally everything. Like probably soon McDonald's is no longer you go in to buy a burger, but you subscribe monthly and then you get your McBucks or something as tokens. Anyways, then President Trump says he's ready to relocate troops from Germany to Poland.
Mr. President, if you decide to pull troops from Germany, will you move them to Poland or maybe some other countries on the eastern flank?
Well, Poland would like that. We have a great relationship with Poland. I have a great relationship with the president. You remember, I endorsed him, and he won. And he came from way behind, and he won. He's a great fighter. He's a great guy. I like him a lot, so that's possible.
But will you do it? He's asking you for.
And that's pretty wild, because Germany's a massive NATO ally, and taking troops out of Germany and putting them in Poland, I mean, that's a big slap in the face to Germany. But more on that one later. Then we got to take a look at Keir Starmer, who says during a press interview after getting completely obliterated with local politics, "I'm not going to walk away." To which J.K. Rowling, the author and the inventor, I believe, of Harry Potter, said sprinting away would be acceptable. Sorry, she didn't say that. She said, all right, then sprinting away may also be acceptable. Well, can I get a bottle of water? And then Keir Starmer also said this right after completely getting nuked in the polls.
Look, it was really tough, and I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It's really important that we reflect and respond when the electorate send a message like that. It's right that we do that. I think
that you're that you're a radical lefty who completely ruined the entire country and allowed the invasion of Muslims to take over. I mean, if you go to the UK, you have to familiarize yourself with the Quran, because it's become a Muslim nation. That's a perfect segue into today's sponsor, the best way to protect yourself online, Private Internet Access. If you're watching this channel, chances are you already know how crazy things are getting online. Between censorship, data tracking, and companies selling your private information, your privacy is under attack 24/7. That's why I use Private Internet Access VPN. It's one of the most trusted VPNs out there with millions of users, and it does exactly what you think it should. It protects your data, hides your IP address, and lets you browse the internet like you're supposed to, privately. And here's the thing, your internet service provider can legally track and sell your browsing data. That's not a conspiracy, that's real. Private internet access encrypts your connection so they can't see what you're doing. It's also insanely useful if you want to travel or just want unrestricted access, whether that's streaming, news, or content that gets blocked depending on where you are. Setup takes 2 minutes. With one click, you are fully protected. So if you care about your privacy, and honestly, you should, click the link down below in the description or scan the QR code on your screen and you get 83% off plus 4 months for free. You also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So there's literally zero financial risk just to try it out. Get protected, stay anonymous, and take back control of your internet. Then President Trump said this about the Pope, because the Pope has been quite vocal against President Trump and his actions, so he kind of retaliated.
Mr. President, you've had some recent back and forth with Pope Leo. I understand Secretary of State Marco Rubio is going to meet with the Pope tomorrow. What message do you hope he delivers to the Holy Father?
Well, I can tell you this, that as far as the Pope is concerned, and it's very simple, whether I make him happy or I don't make him happy, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And he seemed to be saying that they can, and I say they cannot. Because if that happened, the entire world would be hostage, and we're not going to let that happen. That's my only message.
I mean, fair point. Obviously, the president, not just Trump, but any president has access to way more information and data than the freaking Pope, especially when it comes to geopolitics like Iran, their nuclear capabilities, and their military. So leave the big boy discussions to not the Pope, but the president. And then Bill Maher gets completely nuked after trying to fearmonger about Republicans redrawing illegally racially gerrymandered congressional maps in the South. Have a listen to this.
As I said last week, I guess you didn't watch the show.
They're not supposed to.
You wouldn't know,
They're literally not supposed to take that.
I know,
into account.
but I said we're not living in the future. It would be nice if that was where, and we are way different than we were 20 years ago, 50 years ago. The world is very different, and I've certainly taken my shit from the left for pointing out constantly that they are hyper-focused on race, and when they say things like racism is...
Bro, they literally made it so that certain districts are black only districts and colored only districts for different votes. It's insane. The ones that keep saying, that keep calling everybody racist are actually the racist ones. It's such a weird world that we live in.
It's never been worse. It's just, you're just ridiculous. But we are also not living in the future. Show this map, please. This is what the map could look like in the South, of what it used to look like. See those blue? Those are blue districts. This is what it's going to look like now. There are districts that have been carved out so that minorities are represented, for sure. That is racial gerrymandering. It has to happen until we are living in the present. In the future, and we're not. And if you think that you're going to take away all these...
This guy wants certain districts to be based off of skin color. It's insane, man. This is... Oh my God. Listen to what happens next, because this is real funny.
Black representatives in the United States Congress without repercussions. I mean, you take away that many and have them, black people have scant representation in Congress. This is not going to stay.
The new governor of Florida is likely going to be black. You know, this is white Republicans are voting him in.
Look, first of all, let me just...
He gets absolutely nuked. Oh my goodness. People that make everything about race get fed their own shit at some point, and it's so funny to see this happen in real time to Bill Maher. Sometimes his takes are good, sometimes his takes are way out in left field. But this is where it gets really interesting, because he has John Fetterman on, and we all know that John Fetterman is ready to leave the Democrat Party. Listen to this.
So there's no truth, right, that you're actually going to switch parties? Because I know Trump has offered you. I mean, you've said I would be a shitty Republican.
That's, you know, and you know, if I ever decide to change, and I won't, I'll be, you know, have me on, and I will announce that. But it's not gonna. It's like, you know, I'm a.
So do we need Does America need John Fetterman to leave the Democrat Party and become a Republican? Or is it enough for him to be a Democrat and to vote with mostly Republican things and to support President Trump's decisions? Instead of playing party politics, John Fetterman has seemed to found himself in a position where he's thinking on his own, where he's actually using critical thinking. And this is the thing that's ruined so many nations, is the party politics, the undeniable allegiance to a party that opposes everything that the other party does, strictly for the sake of opposing, because no matter what, they have to hate each other. It ruins countries. It ruins relationships with people. It ruins friendships. It costs people marriages. I mean, look what happened during COVID. The whole world became divided. It's insane. Like, can't we just talk about things? And not to be too kumbaya, but we have to be able to talk about things and get along. John Fetterman's a prime example of someone who's on the left, but isn't really allowing himself to be brainwashed as much as other people on the left. It's actually quite good to see this.
Committed Democrat, even though if I vote 93% of the time
with the Democrats.
Like, yeah, I thought we were supposed to be a big tent party. So I'm not really sure how I become an issue for any of the Democrats, just to having some different views in these other issues.
Because they want people to be sheep. They want people to just blindly follow whatever the entire party is doing. And it's kind of ruined. It's ruined politics. It's ruined the nation. At least that's my take. I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments.
And I want to thank the Dell family. It's a great family. He is amazing. She is amazing. They've done such a job on that. They put up a lot of money too. Put up $6.25 billion. That's somebody. And he started making computers on his bed in college and selling them because they were better than other computers. And I said, how did you do that? He said, well, I did it and I just never stopped. It just kept going.
So I think that when President Trump announced that they were buying Intel stocks, I think he's tripled the money since then. I think it's gone up 200 or 300%. Now, obviously, this isn't financial advice, but if President Trump is buying and using government money to buy up Dell shares, I suspect tomorrow, the next day on Monday, when the stock market opens, you're going to see a pretty big bump up in the share price.
You said that Mike Johnson's not willing to sit down and have a conversation. Y'all did have a phone conversation, I believe you said earlier today. Who initiated that call? Was that you or was that Speaker Johnson?
It was a call from Mike Johnson. It was very brief, and it wasn't a substantive discussion in terms of finding a path forward.
But was he calling to talk about the government shutdown?
I mean, you could say that was in the ballpark, but, it was a private conversation that will remain private. However, nothing meaningful came out of it, again, because Donald Trump has not given Mike Johnson permission to enter into a bipartisan negotiation. Caitlin, I mean, House Republicans have been literally on vacation for the last 5 weeks. They've canceled votes 5 consecutive weeks in a row. They are uninterested in doing anything other than jamming their partisan Republican spending bill down the throats of the American people. And as Democrats, we've made clear we will not support a partisan Republican.
Shut your bitch ass up. Come on. This guy goes and complains, oh, Mike Johnson won't talk to me. But you just had a phone call. Oh, yeah. Yeah, who called? Well, Mike Johnson called me. Oh, my goodness. Anyways, this clip here is from back in 2025, and the official government account is resharing it because, well, you have to watch it.
Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Can you imagine if I made YouTube videos that I sounded that dumb? You know what? If you got something to say down in the comments,
don't.
You better go ahead and say them. Oh my goodness, these people are stupid. It's funny to watch them because it's fun to make fun of them. If you want to keep doing that, hit the like, subscribe, and we're gonna to quote Hakeem Jeffries, we're gonna
Don't